Today, I'm bringing to you a new dimension of life. We often want to change things in our life and seldom manage to do it. Transformation rather than change is a tool that we can use to make this happen. In order to understand whether there is a difference between the two, that is, whether there is a difference between transformation and change, and know the difference if there is one, let us begin by looking at the life cycle of a butterfly.
The butterfly lays an egg, usually on a leaf. When the egg hatches, out comes the larva. Larva can also be called a caterpillar. We put our caterpillar larva in a bowl with a net around it, then added sticks, leaves, and caterpillar food. A caterpillar eats all the time for the first 7 to 10 days. Did you know many caterpillars only eat the plant their mother laid the egg on? As they eat, they grow bigger. It is amazing to watch. Caterpillars molt a few times, which means they shed their old skin and then grow a larger skin to replace it. After 7 to 10 days, the caterpillars look for a safe place to hang down and pupate. When ready, the caterpillar sheds its skin for the last time and becomes a chrysalis. It is an amazing transformation that only takes a minute or two. And it looks like it's dancing. Give a thumbs up if you like this phase. It stays in the chrysalis form for 7 to 10 days. During this time, the caterpillar's insides are changing. A caterpillar eats solid leaves, but a butterfly drinks nectar, water, and other liquids. When a butterfly is ready to come out, the chrysalis becomes transparent, and you can see its wings through the chrysalis. A butterfly has a long tongue called a proboscis. It uses it like a straw to drink liquids. At first, a butterfly hangs upside down and will pump blood into its wings. When the wings are dry, the butterfly can fly. In another week, the butterfly will lay eggs for the next group of larvae, and the caterpillar to butterfly life cycle will continue. That's how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. Isn't it amazing?
Would all of us say that the caterpillar transformed into a butterfly and not changed into a butterfly? Yes, no,
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
All of us agree, right?
yes.
And why do we say that?
Once a
Because
butterfly,
the past is not there in the future. An egg becoming a caterpillar, becoming a pupa, and a butterfly
Hmm.
are four different stages where you cannot go back to the previous one.
Okay, yeah. So, as Ravi said, the butterfly cannot go back to being a caterpillar. And that's why there's the transformation, or that's why we call it the transformation. Now, having said that, I want to make a statement. Every transformation is a change. Do you all agree?
Yep.
Anybody who
Yes.
doesn't agree? Yeah, because caterpillar to a butterfly, there is a change of form. However, every change is not a transformation. And why would I say that? Why would we say that?
One, because transformation, like, it is not the same. And like you said, when there is transformation, you cannot go back into that old state. So the things that doesn't remain the same, that's a change. And the things that change that don't go back to where it was earlier, that is what is called transformation. Given the analogy of caterpillar, the caterpillar, it changed into a butterfly. Okay, there was a change. It was no longer a caterpillar, and it would not go back to the state of being a caterpillar. So that's how it is transformation. So the change is there, but when you won't be going back to what it was earlier, that is when it is called transformation. But every change is not a transformation, because you might change something and you might come back to the same space. Then that is not transformation.
If you look at the word transformation, transformation could again go into, you can look at it in two forms. The verb form. Transformation is the process of changing. So when in the verb form, when you're looking at transformation, like you looked at the caterpillar went into the chrysalis to the butterfly. And within those processes also, there were changes that were happening ongoingly in the intermittent stages too. So it is a process of changing when you're using transformation as a verb, or when you're using transformation as a verb, it is an act, process, or instance. Just 1 minute. I think the people who are, yeah. So an act, process, or instance of transforming or being transformed. So it is an act or a process or an instance of being transformed or transforming. It's a process and a verb form. That's why it's a verb form, because the word transformation here is in an action form. Transformation, when you look at from a noun form, it is a dramatic and radical change in form, appearance, nature, and or character. So what I said is every transformation is a change, but every change is not a transformation if the change is not dramatic and radical. Also, if the change is not extreme and permanent, then it's not transformation in the noun form. It means a transformation per se. It may be transformation in the process form. Now, if we look at evolution of man, when we look from the Australopithecus afarensis, which is the stage. Yeah, but before that also, there was another stage. Now, it's not that it emerged from this, there was an evolution. If you remember evolution theory, Darwin's evolution theory, it's from the amoeba that we have come to this stage of the Homo sapiens. So at each stage, there was a transformation because it was radical changes that were happening and permanent, at least for a period of time, till the next evolution stage occurred. And now if we look at the Homo sapiens, what we're today doing to ourselves, the evolution that we are looking at, the transformation that we're looking at ourselves as human beings, So the transformation is an ongoing process. Now to get this a little more distinct, let's look at what is the difference between brightness and darkness?
This is absence of light.
It's the absence of light, presence or absence of light. Very true. The first picture we'll say is bright as compared to this. If you're looking at, there's a presence of light, total absence of light, and some presence of light. And this could be brighter, so on and so forth. What is the difference between hot and cold?
Cold is absence of heat
Absence of heat. Okay.
or
Anybody
temperature.
else? Pardon?
Difference in temperature.
Yeah, it's a change in temperature. Now let's look at these two. Water, which is at room temperature, vis-a-vis ice, which is at 0 degrees. What will we call hot and what will we call cold? Hot and cold, I'll call something hot when it is at room temperature, and 0 degrees, I'll call it as cold.
Yes. Exactly.
Now, if I bring in liquid nitrogen, what happens? Ice becomes hot. None of these are transformations. They're only changes. There is no radical alteration. They are in the same paradigm, only involving the presence or absence of something. What is the difference between steam, water, and ice?
Temperature.
It's a yeah.
Temperature. Okay.
State of
Physical,
being.
is
State.
a change in the physical state.
Change in the physical state. Okay. Yeah. All of what you said is valid. When you boil water, you get steam. And when you freeze water, you get ice. So if you look at it, it is an external circumstance, an external application that brings about this change of state. Yeah, because the minute I remove heat, what happens to the steam? Condenses back to water. The minute I remove the freezing, what happens to ice? It defrosts and becomes water again. So the change is not internal. The change is because of an external environment and external circumstance. And the minute that circumstance is removed, it goes back to the original state that it began with. In other words, they are reactive alterations within because of an external factor. The change in form of water is taking place. There's an alteration in the form of water. So alteration within. But because of what? Because of an external factor. As soon as that external factor again becomes different, like I said, you remove the heat, the external factor has now changed, steam again goes back to become water. You remove ice from the freezer, that is, the freezing environment is removed, the external factor is removed, goes back to water. So they are reactive alterations. So from all of this, what I discovered for myself is change is a reactive approach within because of an external situation. While transformation is a proactive approach within to make a tangible difference to the external world. So it's an inside out or outside in approach. Now let's look at this. Is this a transformation or a change?
Are they the same person?
Adil, they're the
Yeah.
same person.
Change.
I'll say neither. It's neither transformation nor change. It's just a put on.
But there's a change, no?
Change.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Change.
Then change. Certainly not
Change.
transformation.